Hello, Eagles Nation. Vincent Focht here, and welcome to an Eagles schedule reaction / prediction Eagles chat, where we'll be reacting and predicting the upcoming 2026 NFL schedule for the Birds. You'll definitely want to hang with us through the entire video. We're going to have one heck of a blast, that I can definitely tell you. But before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the Eagles Chat YouTube channel, as well as following us on Instagram at Chat Eagles, where you can find daily updates on your Birds. You can also find our Instagram in the description of this Eagles Chat video. But now let's get right into it. We're going to first discuss the Eagles schedule toughness. Now, when looking at the Eagles schedule rank, toughness may not exactly be the first word that comes to mind, as the Eagles have ranked the 10th easiest schedule in the NFL, and they currently rank at the 23rd hardest schedule in the league. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, well, 32 teams, they rank the 23rd hardest in the league. How does that mean they have the top 10 easiest schedule in the NFL? Well, it's because there are two teams tied for the 28th hardest schedule in the league, being the Colts and the Falcons. So that's why it makes it 10 teams, right? But when looking at this and how the NFL, anyway, decides this, as this came from NFL.com, well, they look at the teams that the Eagles go up against, their winning percentage, and the oppositions that the Birds will be facing this year, well, they stand at a .481. So, naturally, that's how the NFL does the rankings for how hard each team's schedule is. Well, folks, that's not how I do the rankings, because I look at the certain predicaments that the team will be in with the schedule throughout the season. And the Eagles, well, they'll be in quite a few different predicaments that I can tell you. And the first one is, well, they'll be facing 4 teams coming off of their bye week in this upcoming schedule. In week 6, they'll be going up against the Panthers, coming off a bye. In week 8, they'll be going up against the Commanders, which are coming off a bye. In week 9, it'll be the Giants. In week 14, it'll be the Colts. All 4 of those teams are coming off a week of rest when the Birds see them. And not to mention, in week 6, well, when the Eagles go up against the Panthers in that week, they'll be coming off the game in London against the Jaguars. And in week 8, going up against the Commanders, the prior week to that, the Birds will be coming off the Monday Night Football matchup against the Dallas Cowboys in week 7. So, folks, this is all things to take into consideration. And also not to mention that the Eagles this year will be playing 7 out of their 8 NFC East rivalry games before the month of December even begins. So it's going to be quite something interesting to witness, that I can tell you, as they're going to be cramming a lot of big-time games into a small window, and the Eagles will somehow have to deal with that. And as well, you want to talk about important games crammed into a small window? Well, the final 4 games of the season for the Birds are going to be tough. And by the way, they are ranked as extremely tough. Final 4 games, you'll be going up against the Seahawks and as well the Texans back-to-back at home. Obviously, one of those teams being the defending Super Bowl champs. And then for the final 2 games of the season, you'll be going on the road to San Francisco to go up against the 49ers, and as well to finalize out the year in Week 18 in North Jersey against the New York Giants. And the New York Giants, folks, are a team that are expected to kind of make a playoff push this year. They're going to be a feisty team. Now, in no way am I saying 100% they're going to be in a playoff position come Week 18, or they're going to be fighting for a playoff position in Week 18, the Giants, but I'm saying that they have a chance to be there, and it's all things to take into consideration playing a rival in Week 18. Who knows what will happen? Will starters need to sit? Will the Eagles be sitting in a pretty position? Who knows? It is so hard to predict the end of a season. No one knows what a team's going to look like by the time that happens. But still, these are all things to really look at when talking on a schedule. And as well, we were mentioning the Panthers game earlier, right? Week 6, obviously going up against the Panthers coming off of a bye week. Well, something to put on top of that is that after the Panthers game on week 6, the Eagles will be going up against Dallas, Washington, and New York back to back to back. So this is going to be something quite interesting to see. Now, on top of that, right, I'm kind of like piling so much into this one. The Eagles have ranked 9th in the NFL for this upcoming season in travel miles. Now, obviously, London is a huge piece of that, but the Eagles this year are predicted to travel around 22,115 for their miles, right? That ranks 9th in the league. So they're going to be doing one heck of a lot of traveling. You're going to have a bunch of primetime games to deal with as well. And matter of fact, you actually have back-to-back primetime games in the schedule, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, 5 primetimers. You play on Thanksgiving. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this pans out. But the Eagles really are going to be all over the place. And again, it's really something to look at when judging on this. And I mean, still, you have the Super Bowl champs. I said the Eagles ranked 9th in travel miles. Well, the Super Bowl champs are right behind them at 10, ranking in 22,056. So This is going to be quite something interesting to see. But the Eagles, they're doing a lot of traveling now still, even though NFL.com has them ranked at the 10th easiest schedule in the NFL. Again, only judging off of the opposition's winning percentage coming into this. Still, it's just something to look at. Winning percentage of the teams you play, that's definitely a big factor in determining how easy your schedule is. But as well, the things that you have to go through, the predicaments that you're put in, it all comes together at the end of the day. And, we'll see exactly how the Eagles develop through this time period. But still, folks, these are all things to really look at when talking on this 10th easiest schedule. And I already know that there's going to be fans out there, as there is every single season, talking on the Birds saying, especially if they do well, oh, the only reason they're doing good is because they have an easy schedule. Oh, it's because they have the 10th easiest schedule in the NFL. I can see it now. I can already see it. The Eagles get success, find success. They get successful. You're going to have fans from all over the place. Oh, it's because their schedule's easy. 10th easiest in the league. We saw the rankings before the season. We know what we're talking about. Give me a break. Eagles fans, I mean, at this point, you guys should be immune to it just because every time the Eagles have success, this is what opposing teams' fans use. It's because the schedule's so easy. And then, I mean, the year that they said the schedule was so easy, the Eagles went and won the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it whatsoever. That 2024 season, yeah. Oh, they have such an easy regular season schedule. And then they absolutely ran over the defending Super Bowl champs in Super Bowl, 59. I don't want to hear it whatsoever. But I can already tell if there is success. I can hear the excuses now. I can hear them piling on. I tell you what, it's going to be quite interesting. But folks, here is the more closer, in-depth look of what I was talking about on the 4 teams the Eagles will be going up against or coming off of a bye week in week 6. There's the Panthers right there. There's the Commanders, and then you have the Giants and the Colts right there. And as you can see, I have labeled here the Birds coming off that London game going up against the Panthers, and as well as the Commanders, they come off that week going up against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. So again, that is another important thing to talk about. You go from the Panthers, which are going to be a tough cookie, definitely, especially the season they came off of last year, and then it just goes boom, 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 rival. And sure, 2 of those games, those 3 rivalry games after that Panthers contest, 3 of those rivalry games will be played at home, but it's still extremely tough to get a winning streak going playing all 3 of your rivals that you see at least twice a year. Not saying that you're not going to see them again in the postseason, but still, it's going to be tough, folks. That I can definitely tell you. But enough of that. Let's get into the prediction portion of this Eagles chat. And here it is, the entire schedule. So exactly what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict wins and losses, and you're going to see either a W or a red L. So a green W or a red L will appear next to the week, or in this case, it will appear next to the abbreviation of the city name for the opposing team the Eagles will go up against, and we'll predict from there. And at the end of this, I'll show my final record that I have the Birds getting at the end of the 2026 NFL season. So let's not hesitate anymore. Let's get right into our prediction. So first off, I want to start off with, obviously, week 1. We got to start off with week 1 going up against the Washington Commanders. The last time the Eagles went up against Washington in week 1, let's just say, hey, they were able to do their thing. The Eagles were able to, get some rock and roll going on. And there was a report put out by NFL on CBS not too long ago saying that the Eagles have the best record in the NFL since 2010 with week 1 victories. The record, on the other hand, well, it's 13-2. So we'll exactly see, it's 13-3. Week 1 record since 2010. Folks, I have the Birds making that 14-3. I see the Birds coming away with a victory in week 1 against Washington. It's the home opener. It's week 1. I don't think you can go wrong with an Eagles victory. That I can definitely tell you. They win, number 1. Now going on to week 2 against Tennessee. Tennessee is a rebuilding team. They're a rebuilding squad. They got a new head coach. They're trying to find their way around. They did pretty good in the draft this year. But again, I see the Eagles being able to get everything together, can put all their money in one basket, put all their eggs in one basket, whatever way you want to describe it. Money's on the mind, so there you have it. But there you go, right there. Tennessee winning it in week 1. Now coming to week 3, the Eagles' first of so many primetime games this schedule. We have the Chicago Bears. Now, folks, last year, things didn't exactly go the way that they wanted, or I should say the way the Eagles wanted against the Chicago Bears last year. They lost to the Bears at home. Well, folks, I think Chicago is going to have their number once again. I see the Eagles picking up their first loss of the season in week 3 on primetime television. Monday Night Football. I don't know. Chicago, they have a vibe about them. I think they want it. I think they're extremely hungry. Not saying the Eagles aren't hungry, but I see Chicago coming away with the victory there, unfortunately, for, again, the Birds' first loss of the season. Moving on to week 4, they have the LA Rams, a expected juggernaut in the league this year after they especially didn't get their way last year against the Seattle Seahawks, and as well, since they didn't get their way against the Eagles last year in Philadelphia, where, yes, everyone remembers that blocked field goal. Jordan Davis returned it for a touchdown. Anyone remember that? Yep, I think so. Well, yeah, folks, no, I'm not going to have them losing. I'm going to have them winning it. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. But I think the magic of Sean Mannion's going to come through. I think the offense is going to show up, and I think the Eagles defensively were able to hone in on them. I think coming into this game, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are going to be going up against the Eagles. I think you're going to see whatever it may be, NFL on Fox, whatnot. They're going to be putting up the predictions. The majority of them are going to be saying LA wins. I think the Eagles come away with this one 100% and surprise some people, that I can tell you. But I can already tell going into this game, there's going to be a lot of people predicting against the Birds, and that's usually when they do the best. So I have them winning this one. Moving on next to the London game, week 5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I see the Eagles coming away with the victory. Remember the last time they played the Jags in London? Yes, Carson Wentz took it to them. That was back in the 2017 season when the Eagles won their first ring, right? But I see them coming away with it, enjoying some nice tea after the game. I think the Eagles pick up a nice, comfortable win in week 5. Or I don't know if I'd say comfortable. I think it will be a feisty one. But still, I see the Eagles coming away with the victors right there. Next, week 6, Carolina. Folks, I know this one's at home, but again, I think that Carolina is going to surprise them. I really do. I think, Bryce Young, what Carolina was able to do last year, they're going to be feisty. They're going to be fighting. They want more. And I have a feeling that they're going to catch the Eagles a little bit on the short side right there, and the Birds are going to come up, speaking of which, short. So that's how, unfortunately, I see them picking up their second loss of the season. And remember, folks, I also see some losses occurring because I see some things kind of being a little topsy-turvy. Again, you have to remember, a new offensive coordinator. That doesn't mean I think he's going to be bad, but there's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some learning curves, and it's going to take a little bit of time for the team and the coordinator to get on the same page. There's always those early growing pains to a new offensive coordinator. Jalen Hurts should know a thing or two about that. He hasn't had a stable offensive coordinator in forever. But still, I mean, it's going to be a little shaky, I think. And especially even when looking at Kellen Moore when he came in here. I mean, the beginning of the season wasn't exactly the greatest thing in the world. I think there's going to be some shakiness, and I think it will definitely show in this game. The Eagles pick up their second loss against Carolina. Moving on to their first game against Dallas. Folks, I originally had the Eagles losing this. Yes, losing a game against Dallas and Philly, but I changed it last second. I had a little bit of a change in feelings. I think the Birds will get it done. I don't think they're going to really allow Dallas to beat them at Lincoln Financial Field. The whole city of Philadelphia would burn down to the ground. That's another thing to be scared about. But I think someone would also be coming after me if I said that the Eagles would lose to Dallas at Lincoln Financial Field. So I changed it to a win. I think the Birds get a victory over Dallas. But now moving on to week 8, here it is. The back-to-back primetime games. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. I think the Eagles, unfortunately, take a loss to Washington. You beat them in week 1, but I think if Washington stays healthy, they're going to be a threat to worry about in the season. As last year, I mean, oh my goodness, it was just an absolute collapse of Washington last year with their injuries. But I think if they stay healthy, I don't think you're going to be able to win 2 over them, especially at home in Washington playing them. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be too easy. I see the Eagles losing their 3rd game of the season against the Commanders in Washington. But now going to week 9 at home. Finally, that's it for the primetime games, at least on this side of the screen right here. You go up against the New York Giants at home. Well, this one was another tough one for me. I originally had the Eagles losing this, but I had a slight change of heart. I had the Eagles now winning this one against the Giants, but folks, it's going to be a nail-biter. That I can definitely tell you. The Giants being a feisty team, they're not going to back down one bit, and we saw last year, the Eagles, Giants, it was a little tough. That first game that they played in the 2-game series last year against New York, well, yeah, the Eagles, anyone remember that? They absolutely got booty slapped last year by the Giants. So, hey, if you allow them to, they will definitely take the W from them, especially, I mean, knowing Scatterby right there. I mean, last year was running all over the Eagles. That I can definitely tell you. So if you give the Giants that window, they will take it. But still, I see the Birds coming away with a W, but it's going to be a feisty one, that I can tell you. And then you go to week 10 with the bye week. Folks, in my opinion, this is a perfect time to have a bye week. You get there mid-season, and literally mid-season. You can't get any better than that. Week 9 to week 18. You're dead center in the middle of the season at week 10. I think it's the perfect time for a bye week. It's time to get your emotions all together. There's going to be, again, like I stated, it's a new offensive coordinator. There's going to be some iffy moments with the guys in the offense, and I'm just saying the offense. There's also going to be some little iffy moments as well in the defense with the amount of new additions the Birds got on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, there's going to be some times where guys aren't, let's just say, on the same page. So, hey, a week 10 bye week, in my opinion, is probably one of the best times that you could have a bye. So, I really like this. This is probably one of my most favorite parts of the schedule this year, is having that mid-season week to just bring everything back together once again. If things aren't going right, you have time to perfect it and get ready for the second part of your schedule, which in no way is, well, let's just say can be very unapologetic if you allow it to. So week 10, bye week, I love it. But now moving on to week 11 against Pittsburgh at home. Well, I see the Birds coming away with a victory against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. It's going to be a tough one. I think it may be a little bit of a feisty one, but I think if the Eagles play their game, they'll be able to take care of the Steelers. Again, Pittsburgh got some new good additions this year, so no way are they a team that I'm going to completely look over. I don't think, by the way, as well, a lot of people thinking the Steelers are going to go 9-8 this year. I don't know about that. I think they have a chance to do a little more. And by the way, with that being said, I think the Steelers have a chance to get over the double-digit line, being over 10 wins and possibly even over 11 wins. So I wouldn't count the Steelers out. It's going to be a tough one, but I think the Birds come away with the victory, especially at Lincoln Financial Field. And as well, the way Philly's been owning Pittsburgh lately, I think it would be quite interesting and quite, let's just say, a perfect layout for the Eagles to beat the Steelers come week 11. Moving to week 12, Turkey Day. Yes, the first Thanksgiving game the Eagles have had in over a decade against the Dallas Cowboys right here, week 12. Well, unfortunately, folks, I was going to have it as a loss, but I actually have the Eagles winning this one. I think on a big occasion like this, the Eagles are definitely going to come to play. It's going to be tough in Dallas, but I think the Eagles are going to be able to get that done. I think they're going to be coming off of the bye week extremely strong. The Eagles are known to come off the bye week strong. I think they're going to take care of the Dallas Cowboys in week 12 on Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be such a great sight to see. It's going to be a feisty one once again, but I think, hey, the way the Birds are going, and as well, the way Dallas usually goes by the time midseason comes around, especially seeing Dallas these past couple of seasons, and as well, they made some additions, but there's a lot of holes in Dallas. If the Eagles can find those holes, I think they'll find another victory and their second victory over the Cowboys in a season. Let's hope they can get the sweep. They did it 2 years ago. They weren't able to do it last year. They blew that 21-0 lead in Dallas last year. Let's hope they don't repeat that once again. I think the Birds will get it done to sweep out the Cowgirls. Oh boy, it would be such a sweet sight to see, especially on Thanksgiving. But moving on to week 13, I see the Eagles coming off with a victory in Arizona. There's no way that they really should lose this game unless everyone on their team suddenly dies. But again, Arizona, there could be an upset there, but I think the Eagles definitely should have this one tucked away. This is one of those games where not every game is a 100% victory in the NFL. You're going to have to fight for every victory that you can get in the league, but still, they should come away with the victory over Arizona. Not a doubt, 100%. But now going next to the Indianapolis Colts. Well, I see them beating the Colts. The Colts are another team the Eagles should take care of. I understand they had not so much of a bad season last year. Obviously, when Daniel Jones went down last season, everything kind of fell apart a little bit, right? But still, I think they have a shot, right? You brought Rivers back last year with the Colts, and they tried to get something rock and rolling, but their season just completely fell off and exploded and imploded, whatever word you want to describe it, destruction. That's basically what happened to the Colts last year. But again, I think the Birds will come up with a victory. But now moving on to week 15, which is your Saturday game against the Seattle Seahawks. The Eagles don't have a good history against the Seahawks, but they're playing at home, and they're going to be on a little bit of a roll, I think, coming off the bye week. So I think I'll give them a W. I think the Eagles will come away with the victory against Seattle. I think it'll be something quite interesting to see against the defending Super Bowl champs. I think this is the part of the season where the Eagles are really showing what they're all about, pounding their way, pushing their way through. I think they actually get a victory over Seattle. Again, something that doesn't happen too often. Again, the Eagles going up against Seattle, not exactly a great pass for the Birds anyway. A good pass for the Seahawks, not the Eagles, but I think they come away with it. We'll say the Eagles get the victory for week 15. Moving on to week 16 against Houston, this is where the schedule starts to get hard, and this is exactly, well, not starts to get hard, where it kind of picks up the toughness again, I should say. And this is what I was discussing earlier on in this Eagles chat with exactly how things kind of develop, and especially how the final 4 games of the season go. You play Seattle, the defending Super Bowl champ. You play Houston, back-to-back home games, and then you go on the road against San Fran and then finish out the season with New York. It's going to be tough right here, folks, and this is where I think things shake up a little bit. So I have Houston beating the Eagles and getting a loss, unfortunately, on week 16 for the Thursday night football contest. And then in week 16, or I should say really in week 17, I actually see them picking up the victory against the San Francisco 49ers. Folks, those of you who haven't been paying attention, I should just say this. There's a little bit of a beef between the Eagles and the 49ers. And yeah, the big dominance and everything going back to the postseasons that they've met each other. Yeah, there's been some issues. And especially last year, 49ers beat the Eagles in the postseason to end the Birds season. I think the Eagles are going to be coming back for some revenge. The Eagles are known to get revenge the season after being beaten by a team, especially in a big game. The Birds are known as a team to get revenge against a contender that kind of scratched them out in a previous season. I think they'll be able to get the job done against San Francisco. It's going to be a tough one, folks. Don't get me wrong. But I see the Birds coming out on top. And then for week 18 against the Giants, I actually had them losing this one because knowing Nick Sirianni, I have a feeling he's going to do that thing again where he rests the starters, even though a lot of people don't want him to. And I have a feeling, just knowing Nick Sirianni, that is something that he would most likely do. And especially as well with the Giants, I have a feeling they're going to be in a position where they're really going to need to win this game. They're going to be putting everything out there, blood, sweat, tears, body parts, whatever it may be. The Giants are going to be fighting for their life come week 18. I think that they seriously have a chance to contend this year. Again, I could be completely wrong. Injuries could happen. Lots of things could happen. The Giants could be something where you're excited for them coming into the year, and then they absolutely crap the bed. Could happen. I would be very happy if that happens. Can't stand you, New York. I hope the worst for you guys. Really, I do. I can't stand you. I really. But still, I think the Giants have a good chance, unfortunately, to be in a playoff push. Therefore, I have them losing to Big Blue in the Week 18 game. So that's my schedule, folks, and my schedule prediction for the upcoming 2026 NFL season. Again, folks, I tried my best to predict this going right down the middle, as again, I'm an Eagles fan, and I'd be extremely happy to see the Eagles go 17-0. I really would. Not expecting it, but if they did, holy crap. All right, bet. I'll take it. Prove me wrong. Go 17-0. You know what? Screw it. Go the whole way. Just undefeated to the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl. Be the first team in history to do it. I mean, that'd be great. I'd be so happy. Please do that. I'd never be so happy to be proven wrong in my life. But that's my prediction. So the Eagles at the end of this season will have a 12-5 record. Let me know your score prediction in the comment section down below. Do you think they'll go 12-5? Do you think they'll have a better record than this? Do you think they'll have a worse record than this? Do you think they'll win the division? As last year they were able to make history for the first time in a couple decades of the Eagles being the first team to win the NFC East back-to-back since 2002. So, hey, quite interesting to see, but this is my final record for the Birds. Again, let's hear it in the comment section down below. Folks, can't wait to see what the upcoming NFL season brings, and until training camp begins, that's when Eagles Chat will be back and running once again. And as well, there's still some other news that can pop up. Again, the whole A.J. Brown situation with June 1st and the NFL cap hit. We'll still have some things to talk about, but as of right now, this is going to be the last big-time thing to mention on Eagles Chat, at least for quite a little while. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around with Eagles Chat for this entire year. It's been one heck of a pleasure to do these videos, and can't wait to see what the 2026 season has in store for the Birds. And as always, you know, I got to finish out the video with the best saying there ever is in the league. Go Birds! Have a good one, folks, and God bless. Enjoy the beautiful weather that is approaching. Have a good one.